Today here at the E-MTB review, I'd like to give you guys a long-term review, pros and cons and bottom line on probably the burliest, most capable e-mountain bike in the stable right now, the Fezzari Timp Peak with 170 front, 170 rear of 29er tall mountain travel. Okay, so many guys have asked me about how this compares to my favorite bikes, the Levo and the Shuttle. And I must admit, I haven't been riding it so much, probably because of the Shimano motor and the battery is not so big. I run out when I'm with the uh, buddies with big batteries, 750 now. But the last 2 weeks, this has all been riding. I've been testing out these tires, new Pirellis, E-Wild, and this super cool atomic wheel set. But what's really made it special is now I'm riding it as a mullet. I promised it a long time ago, but it was full 29er, and now I'm riding it as a mullet, and it slackened it out, made this seat angle a little bit, a little, I think, more appropriate. 77 and a half, 63 and a half normally. What's going on is I'm rediscovering how capable this bike is. So I'm gonna give you a lot of footage of me riding, but basically it's making me look good. It is the steepest steeps, a lot of good dirt right now here in Saratoga, and it's so capable. And with a mullet, now I can change direction, foop, foop, and doing the big jumps and no butt buzz. 170 millimeters of dropper post right here for me. I only have a 30 inch, so really cool. So basically, what's happened is it's a very stiff chassis that they have, 170 suspension on the RockShox, progressive on the rear, and I really just put down the sag, really get the most travel out of this, and now we're getting along so good. It is crazy. TRP brakes. So this was 7,999 when I got it. This is called the Elite, and now they sell it at 7,300, I believe, and it has upgrades. It has a SRAM GX transmission now, so you get more for your money. So they have another version for 6,200, and then there's a 7,999 and a $10,000 version. But this one, this is the sweet spot right here because you have the great suspension and the great brakes. So how it's really treated me is the frame is super stiff. I'm so impressed with how stiff this frame is. And then the wheels have some compliance in them. Bird spokes on these things with mullet. And now it's really so agile. And one of the things I always liked about this bike, even when it was a 29er, was how it hides its travel. I never really think, oh, it's a 170, 170, because it doesn't feel that way. It feels like a Levo or a Shuttle, the bikes with 150 travel. So that's, I think, a very good strength, 170, 170. And, one of the things is I don't have the terrain of a North Star or the chunky, big travel terrain day in, day out. But now I'm able to really take it the steeps and whatnot. So I love it. The suspension is so forgiving. It is supple off the top and really forgiving, and at the end it just progresses hard. But for me, I popped the O-ring, but I'm so proud of that. But it's not really easy to do. You're just sitting in the sweet spot so much, and you don't really think, oh, I have so much travel. And I hear of people doing, 180 in the front, 170, 180. It has that 1.5 inch headset, so you can even put a angle set. So if you need to adjust your angle, if your fork is so long, has that capability. The other cool things about Fezzari is the touches that they have. So they have GX transmission now, and they have ergon touch points, the best saddle, I think the best grips available. They go with TRP DHR Evos, but now they have a lot of Mavens too. And if you don't like something, you can just say, hey, give me Asagai's front and rear, or give me a longer dropper. You could do that with Fezzari. So what don't I like about the bike? So this particular bike, the battery, I think I mentioned in my initial review, is kind of the linchpin. Whether you like it or hate it, it's going to depend on the battery. It has 635 watt hours, so it's not big then and it's not big now. People have a lot of 700s and the Bosches have 750, and the Shimano is not the most efficient. because it's not as tunable. And the other thing I found is it won't charge to 100 oftentimes. It's a Darphone battery with a Darphone charger, and you need a different app to see the 1 to 100 percentage, and it's always at like 93, 95% fully charged. The other thing I don't like is the Shimano EP8 is now not leading edge right now. It's a very capable motor, but it's not very torquey. It's not very configurable, and it does have a rattle. It is very dependable, though. I just talked to someone. He said he had 5,000 miles on his Santa Cruz Bullet. No problems with the Shimano EP8. And another downer for me is it comes as 29er. So you do have to make the conscious decision, hey, give me a mullet, sell me the mullet. They'll sell it to you like that. But it should be default mullet. This is a huge bike. I know they do a good job hiding the wheel size and the travel, but man, it is so good now. It is so capable. So what do I like about the bike, and what's the bottom line? The bottom line is once you have your wheels of your choice and the tire of your choice, this Michelin's, stay tuned to the channel. If you want to review this, so good. This is a great bike. 170, 170. It's gonna cuddle you like a pillow when you get in trouble, when when you run out of talent, and it really, but it doesn't call attention to itself. It doesn't say, hey, I'm a Kenevo, I'm a huge bike. 437 stays, I believe, very short for a 29er bike. So with a mullet, you don't really need to shorten it. There's just a little gap, and the reach is super good. 455, I think, is the reach, and that head angle, 63 and a half, so good. So it is well sorted. The suspension works, rock shocks or SRAM. I don't like the EXO because it shifts so fast, and it's clunking on you when you really have to be aware of your sitting. But on the new version, the SRAM transmission version, and it's cheaper, pretty darn good. Some people say they don't like the brand Fezzari, and now they changed the brand. It's now called Ari. So this is the Ari Timp Peak, and really, that's kind of what we're talking about now. The new generation, better colors. So I'm not sure if they reworked this cover right here. This could be improved, but there you go. If you can get over that battery limit of 635 watt hours, and hopefully the new ones are charging to 100%, then it is at 7,200 bucks and at 6,200. It's a pretty darn good option. And by the way, they do have a couple other bikes, new bikes. One I just reviewed is the Ari Nebo. That's their lightweight one with a Fatsuwa motor. That's got to be my favorite mid-powered bike right now. It is so good. It is so fast. I'm going to do an update on that soon. And that Wire Peak that I was riding forever is now updated. So it's now called the Ari Wire Peak 2.0, and it is cheap. It is like 3,500 bucks, and it's a full suspension. It's not no hardtail, and has a 635 watt hour battery as well. So there you go. I hope you find that helpful, but definitely I'm in love again